congratulations on the release of 5 Days at Memorial. How has that release been for you? Kind of like, I guess, building up to it, but now having it out for a while.
Yeah, it's surreal even still. I mean, when the press came out about the show like being released, when the press came out about the show coming out, I was like, wow, it's finally happening, because we'd filmed it like a year ago. And so I was a bit detached from it because we'd filmed it so long ago. And then seeing all the stills from the show and then seeing the clips just brought me right back to the experience. So it was surreal. It was very exciting. And having it out now, it's just really cool to see people's response about the show and how it makes them feel. I've had people from Louisiana contact me and say, you know, I really, really like the show.
Really?
And, yeah, saying that I went through Hurricane Katrina and it affected me greatly, and I love your portrayal. So that really, that made me feel good. And also I'm glad that people are resonating with the show as well.
I mean, for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, what do you hope that they take from it after watching it?
Well, that's such a complicated question because the story in itself is so complex. I personally find myself feeling so many things all at once. And so, you know, when people ask me that question, you know, what do you want the audience to take from it? It's just the fact that it was a complex situation and there are so many gray areas. There's no right, there's no wrong, and there were sacrifices made on every level. You know, I hope that not only they're engaged and captivated by the story, but they understand that there are many facets and aspects about the story that we didn't know about, that would be made clear in the show or maybe not.
Yeah.
And if they're angry about that, then that's cool. Then that's cool too. You know, when I started working on the show, I learned about a lot of things that I didn't know prior to getting the booking. So yeah, just because, you know, you watch the news and you empathize and then you go about your life. Right? And so you're not necessarily faced with the consequences of what's going on if you're removed from it. And then, like, looking at it from this perspective and doing my research and reading Sherry Fink's book and working on the television show, I'm like, wow, all of this was happening and I was over there just living my life, which made me personally upset. I'm like, oh, is there something that I could have done? Is there, you know, something that people around me could have done? So I feel that when audiences watch it, yeah, they'll be engaged and captivated, but also it'll hurt.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And I mean, this story does cover a lot of topics, as you said. It's a very open and heartfelt kind of series, but I'm wondering what drew you to want to be a part of this series? Was it the script or was it just the story in general?
Well, it was the story. When I got the call for the audition, it was like smack into 2 other auditions due around at the same time.
Really?
Yeah. And so it was like I was working on these 2 auditions, and this one came in. It was like a live Zoom audition that I had to do like the next day, 3 scenes. And I was like, wow, like it's a lot. And then like reading it, I'm like, wow, I'm really engaged with this. And I'm happy that we're finally telling this story from this perspective because it's about time. So what drew me to it was just the fact that the story needed to be told and I wanted to be a part of it. And I thought, you know, God, if you put this into my lap, then, you know, I hope it's meant for me. So I worked on it and I did my audition and I heard about the booking a month and a half later. And I was just having a normal day. And my agent called me to tell me that I got the role. And I had to remind myself what role it was because it'd been like a month. And I was like, what role is this again? And I looked in my email and then I saw, I was like, oh my gosh, I freaked out. I'm like, I gotta call my mom and I have to get organized. And so the story drew me to wanting to work on it, my character as well, and also the directors because I'm fond of their work. And yeah, I just wanted to be, it's an actor's dream to be part of such great writing and great storytelling.
Yeah, and I was going to say, talking more about your character, what was that like kind of bringing her to life? Because this is based on true events. Were there any struggles or worries for you when portraying this character?
Well, struggles, no. As an actor, you put yourself in the character's skin. And the thing about my character is she's fictional.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not based on a real person. So to my advantage, I can create her to anyone I want to be. And just upon reading the scripts gave me enough facts to sort of mold her, you know. And she's fun. Tarika's fun. She's a lot more fun than I am at work. But I loved playing her, and I love that she's sort of the light in the darkness, that she brings such light, because after that, it just all goes downhill. But, you know, like in terms of like the factual part of the story, like just doing my research, and again, like it's an actor's job to bring yourself to the role, bring yourself to the circumstances. It's something that we work on every day. That's what we train for, right? So working on Tarika and having all of that build inside of me, and then going to set and seeing all of the set pieces, and then working with the directors and executing their vision, like all of that just helped. Mm-hmm. Just all the pieces of the puzzle. So all of it were aspects that were helping me bring her to life.
Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of aspects to your character, as you said, like she's so positive, but it's also such a serious like show. I'm wondering if you could describe this series as a whole in 3 words, what would they be?
Ooh. Oh my, okay. Complex is the word that keeps coming to me. It's complex. Even now, after watching, I'm like, this is complex. Like, I don't know how I'm feeling about this right now.
I filmed this, but this is very like complex.
These emotions, it's emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also say it's engaging.
Okay. I mean, would you ever want to do a real life kind of event series or movie again?
Absolutely.
Did you learn anything different from versus being on a fictional set, I guess?
Yes and no. I know that with like this at particular, you know, you're working with accents and you're working with style. And to me, I feel like 2005 was yesterday. But it wasn't. There's so many differences between 2005 and 2022 that I wasn't aware of until I started working on the show. And I'm like, oh yeah. So my hair would be like that. And oh yeah, I would reference to this and that. And I'd be listening to this kind of music because it is 2005 and it's very present. Mm-hmm. So that would be the only difference. But again, as with a fictional story, if it was a period piece, then yeah, I would be wearing things that reference to that time. I'd be listening to music that reference to that time. So there are a lot of differences, but there are many similarities too, just because it is just a different story to tell.
Yeah, definitely. And my last question for you, I know you're keeping busy with all your work. As you said, you've done a lot of auditions, but do you have any future projects that you could hint at or talk about?
Yeah, I can. I have a film coming out during the holidays, which I'm hinting at. So when more information comes out, you'll be the first to know.
All right.
And I also have an episode in a web series that I'm really proud of that's coming out very soon, which I'll be more than happy to share once there's more information about that too. And yeah, those are the things that I've been working on, and a lot of self-care.
Yes, as you should.
A lot of self-care. I'm realizing how important it is. I always knew it was important and I always did that. But with the release of the show and everything, I was like, wow, there's a lot of things happening, going on energetically. So I've just really been taking the time to take care of myself and making that a priority.
Yeah, that's definitely important, especially during these times.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but thank you so much for your time. It was so great to talk to you, and congratulations on everything again.
Thank you, Gracie. And it was so great talking to you too. Thank you for having me.